Hey everyone, Mark Russo here, and today we're going to fix your closed club face. If you struggle with blocks, hooks, and getting the ball airborne, I'm going to give you some fun, simple fixes that you can do at the range and at home to fix that ball flight and fly higher and straighter. Let's go. Okay everyone, welcome in. So today we're going to help you with a closed club face. It's a tricky lesson sometimes to help people with this, and a lot of times folks don't really understand what's happening with their ball flight. So before we do anything, let's make sure we define what that means and what you might be seeing at the range. So what's a closed club face? Well, first, for the right-handed golfer here, we're going to see the club first off in the takeaway excessively looking at the ground, the face looking down more. Now, it depends on the golfer what we're going to try and do, but in our case, I prefer to see the face slightly closed, sort of matching the spine angle, if you will, in the takeaway. But for some golfers, I might get it more here depending on their issues, but some will have it way too much this direction. Continuing from there, you might struggle with the face looking excessively towards the sky, and then on the way down, your club face might look directly away from you. And what ends up happening from there, why you're struggling, is when the face is that closed, remember that the face is king, okay? The face tells our golf swing what to do in so many ways. So we've got to be able to have a club face in a position that will allow the club to move in the right direction. So in your case, with the face excessively closed, you have to start to drop the club head from the inside and keep the face outward this way to try and get the ball airborne. And in many cases, what's going to happen is the face will come through and close too quickly, and you'll get a ball that flies hard left or very low to the ground. Or for some of you, you may hang on to the grip enough and keep the face open enough that the ball will start excessively right, and you can never get the ball on line. Contact issue-wise, you might get, well, a little bit of everything, honestly. You might get where you come in and hit the ground too much. You might drop kick it and hit the middle of the ball, or you just might never hit the ball, and we'll call you a picker. You never take a divot, which again, superintendents love. Now, interestingly, some of you who have this issue may hit your driver fairly well. Why is that? Well, the driver's teed up and the ground's not involved, so that makes things a bit easier. But still, most of the time I see this, that person is always going to struggle with a big block to the right or a big hook, okay? So today we're going to teach you how to get that club face moving at a better place so you have freedom in your golf swing. And that's what I would say to you too. When the club face is excessively closed and conversely very open, you are really at the mercy of the club face, and your golf swing is going to be dictated to, if you will, about where you can travel to try and hit even a reasonably good golf shot. So today we're going to teach you with some couple of my toys here how to fix that club face. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to start to teach you how to get the face more open through a simple face trainer, okay? When my students show up on the practice tee, they always see this guy and they always kind of, well, they smile at him and they always wonder what in the world I use this for. Well, to be honest, I have TrackMan, I have Swing Catalyst, and then I have this guy. Okay, so this is one of my favorite tools. He's been with me since I started my teaching business. You can create one of these, or you could use a broom with a flat side on it, or pretty much anything, tennis racket, whatever you have around the house. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna learn how to move the face better through the golf swing. So you just take your trainer, okay? And real quickly too, before we move the club, we will talk briefly about your grip, okay? For me, you can put the club in the places I'm going to teach you today with virtually any grip. I'm not suggesting that grip isn't important, but I've seen students put the club in closed positions from very strong grips with their hand very turned over, and very weak grips too with their thumb straight down. How they use their wrists and their forearms dictates it a lot of times. So it has to match up with your grip, but in this case, if you can get the face moving the way we're going to teach you here today, the grip shouldn't matter too much, okay? So let's start with it. We're going to set up with our buddy here, and the first thing you're going to do is learn to start to let the club face, or the smiley face, work open. So the top edge goes up and the face works out this way. Here's what you would normally do. You can't see the face at all. And then you would normally be this way, where the face would look at the sky and then look away from you. So when you use our face trainer, face out, up to the top, feel that face looking sort of at a, we'll call it a 45-degree angle, give or take. This would be a little too much open. This would be excessively closed. On the way down, we're gonna get that face ever so slightly looking away from us, but not excessively going this direction. And then a real important place for you to get here. On the way down, I want the face relatively neutral here, meaning top edge up here, face looking out a little more. Now you can square the face with the correct amount of loft and have the face not closing excessively. Then when you make the turn here left of the target, the face or the toe will be up more in the follow through, okay? Many of you will hit this with the face closed here and it'll be turning over this direction, okay? For some golfers that could be really helpful, not for you, okay? So we're gonna move this face slow, all right? Slow motion, do this at home. Get a sense of where the face is pointing and also where the top edge is, okay? That would be effectively, if we put a club in our hands and we do them together, that would be where the toe of the club is, okay? Right here. We don't want this, okay? So we're gonna move the face trainer and just get him up here, work it back down, square him up here, and then around, okay? And this is something that I believe you could do in a mirror for me, doing some of this work, and it'll really start to give you a sensation of how your forearms and your wrists have to move better to get the face more open, okay? We definitely don't want this look, all right? A fun additional way you could do this that I've used before, brought this one out for us today, is what I call the corncob pipe. So I took a shaft and my poor tortured foam roller here that I use often, okay? I stuck it through the foam roller. Now, here's what you're gonna do. Now you don't have to do this, I'll give you an alternative that you could do at home, maybe with something at the house. But for this one, here's what I do with my students. This is very unstable. So if they go back too closed and shut the face early, here's what happens. The foam roller dumps. So what I try and get them to do is feel the weighting of this on top of the shaft, much like we did with the club face, as much as they can. So now they're here. That's the toe of the club up. That's the toe of the club down, face more open. And then when they come down slowly, get here. The weight's on top of it. That's the toe of the club. Now they can start to feel how that works. If they do it excessively, as you can see, okay, that wants to move very quickly. You could do this at home. Take one of your brooms at home, loosen the head of the broom a little bit, because they usually screw on there, and start making some swings with it. And keep the top edge of the broom going. If you do it too quickly, the broom will probably spin over. Or you can have some fun with this guy. Okay, so we're gonna go to the range and we're gonna set up a practice station with our ropes here, okay? So we're gonna set up the red rope and the blue rope. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna hit some shots. And the first thing we're gonna do is get the turn going. We wanna get that club again, as I said, hit the corner in the backswing with the toe up, through the ball, hit the blue corner with the toe up on the other side. And one thing about the golf swing that you want to understand, we're making a motion that is in, up and around, back down and around. We don't swing directly at the target. We don't swing way to the right or way to the left. We might use those as exaggerated words or feels for a particular issue, but that's not what really happens. So in your case, if you are too close with that face and you're coming this way, the club is coming too much from inside and gonna move that direction. Very difficult to square the face and have the ball start on line. So we're gonna use this feel of turning the corners here to hit some straighter shots. So you might start with a couple of easy swings here, toe up, and just go through here. Okay? Good, so we knocked it through the gap. The ball went very straight with minimal curve, and that's what you should be looking for. Try and keep that contact centered. We want the ball going right through the gap. In this case, I'm aiming at the big electric pole in the distance, and I've got my little gap right here. We want those balls going as straight as you can hit it, okay? Minimal curve is your job on this drill, okay? That's what we're gonna try and achieve. Small curves, okay? We're gonna progress from that. So again, when we talk about our process and our ladder of improvement, what we wanna do is we wanna make sure that we start with the homework stuff first, then we do the movements, maybe without a ball, then we add the ball slow and steady and small, like we just did there. Now what we're gonna do is we might progress to saying, okay, well, what's it feel like for me to take it all the way to the top? And we might stop and hit a shot, okay? So we go toe up a little bit more in the takeaway, okay? Now, here's a better backswing with the top of the backswing. This would be too closed. Now we're in a place where we can hit the shot from a little bit easier. So we might work that for a second. Up to the top, okay? And hit yourself a shot, okay? Not too bad, tug to the hair, but no curve to it particularly, just a straight pull slightly, on target, no big curves to it, okay? So that's a great way for you to progress to do this. If you're on grass, don't be afraid to put it on a tee. I've talked about it before, but I think it's important to make this game easier, not harder when you're practicing, okay? So we wanna make sure that we're doing this slow and steady, all right? So last piece here, right? We've gone homework, small, stop drill. Now we might throw the old primer swing in there, okay? You might even do a little rehearsal of good and bad here for me. No. Yes. There you go. Okay, maybe you take it all the way to top. No. Yes. Okay. That can be a very helpful and important concept for some of you to get, just to feel opposites for me, okay? So we've done the stop action. Now we're just gonna work it up to the top, feel that, okay? And then we'll just give it a go here. Okay, so not too bad, a touch thin, but straight through the gap and minimal curve to it, especially no hard hook, and we get air under it, okay? Typically when I talk to students through this too, when they're moving the club face like I'm asking them to, it feels very awkward and very open to them, and that's okay. We just have to make sure that you work your way through it slowly and understand the process. Let's start with the homework stuff. Then we're gonna do some small swings. Again, don't be afraid to do this without the ball. Toe up, hit the corners. Toe up, hit the corners, turn the body through. Okay, ball should start right through the gap. Then we're gonna do small shot, right? Nothing bigger than waist high here. Okay, little small one. Okay, right through the gap, no problem. All right, and then when you're ready, you progress to the big one. And again, I'd encourage you to follow the process in this whole thing and do a little rehearsal also before you hit the shot, just to feel where the face is. Bad, good. Okay, we got it. And then we give it a go. Okay? Okay, so remember, if you follow the process, do your homework, do the small swings, stop and goes, primer swings before you make the full swing, I promise you, you're gonna see much higher, straighter flying golf shots, less hooks, and you'll have a whole lot more fun out on the golf course. Hope this helps you, and we'll see you on the lesson tee.